So people assume we are just going back to the good old world which we had, and everything will be normal again in how we are used to normal, in the old fashion. This is, let's say, fiction. It will not happen. The cut which we have now is much too strong in order not to leave traces.
This is Klaus Schwab. He is the founder and executive chairman of the World Economic Forum, the international organization for public-private cooperation. He has authored the books COVID-19, The Great Reset, and The Fourth Industrial Revolution. The World Economic Forum website states, "The forum engages the foremost political, business, cultural, and other leaders of society to shape global, regional, and industry agendas." Their website lists some of the participants from the latest annual meeting at Davos, Switzerland. The picture is quite clear. The World Economic Forum collaborates with the most powerful people in the world to discuss how to shape the future. This is done globally, outside of the scope of any one nation, and absent any form of democratic scrutiny. Our national governments no longer decide the agenda. They simply go along with what is decided by these international organizations. This is a clear example of rich elites deciding our future. So what is the future they have planned for us? Governments around the world have granted themselves emergency powers that control every aspect of their citizens' lives. They bring in lockdowns and restrictions anytime they want. Any dissent is swiftly dealt with by increasingly aggressive police forces. They are attempting to condition us to accept that our freedom is a privilege granted to us by our masters, not a right. That any restoration of our liberty comes only through good behaviour and continuous compliance. I believe the elites would like the situation to continue and increase in severity. They will continue to lock us down using COVID-19 as justification. The vaccine agenda will continue to be pushed, with boosters as regularly as they think the masses will accept. Vaccine status through digital ID certification will be required to participate in society. The media already demonizes those who choose not to be vaccinated. Life will become increasingly difficult for unvaccinated individuals, as they will be blamed for rising cases and new variants. They may be shut out of society entirely or forced to take the jab. If public fear cannot be sustained by virus propaganda, new threats will be introduced to reignite public fear in order to once again restrict our freedom. These threats could include climate change, bioterrorism, a new pandemic, cyber attacks, or mass riots. Due to lockdowns, many will be unable to work as companies go out of business and economic conditions worsen. This will result in huge levels of unemployment. This ties into the Fourth Industrial Revolution, which calls for mass automation and digitization of the economy. Nations will then introduce some form of universal basic income to provide for the unemployed. While universal basic income will sound like a good solution, it really means one thing: complete dependence on the government for your survival. This change from individual economic freedom to government dependence is integral to the elite's agenda. For those that think governments wouldn't want this because it costs them money, I would recommend researching central banks and the fractional reserve banking system. Our financial system is rigged and is one of the main ways that society is kept in servitude. This universal basic income will tie in with global adoption of digital currencies as society becomes entirely cashless. These central bank digital currencies could be made programmable, meaning restrictions on what you can buy. UBI payments may be programmed to expire after a given period, meaning if the money is not spent, it will disappear. This would make it impossible for individuals to save money and improve their circumstances. All digital currency transactions will be fully tracked and traced and tied to an individual's digital ID. There will be no room for privacy in this new normal. Governments and private companies will have full access to your information. The new normal, the Great Reset, the Green New Deal, Build Back Better. Many names for the same agenda, which is the UN's Agenda 21 Sustainable Development Goals. This agenda calls for a complete global transformation. It is being sold to the public as a good thing, a way to save the planet and reduce inequalities. In reality, it is the complete removal of human freedoms under the guise of saving the environment. The future they want for us will include mass surveillance of the population, no individual privacy with all personal information tied to your digital ID, militarized police to keep citizens in line, no private property, no free speech. It is global totalitarian control, and it is being implemented right now. So what can we do? Their whole agenda relies on two things: fear and compliance. The answer is clear. Do not be afraid and do not comply. This plan will never come to pass because we will not allow it. We have the power. Join the freedom movement that is growing worldwide. Be vocal and unafraid.